Have you ever noticed how some men move through relationships with a kind of emotional distance, almost untouched, and then suddenly, with one woman, something shifts? He becomes softer, more present, more invested. It feels almost confusing to watch. You wonder what changed. Was it timing? Was it luck? Or was there something about her that reached a place in him no one else ever did? Many women quietly ask themselves this question, especially if they've experienced being cared for, admired, even desired, but never quite held emotionally. It can leave you questioning your own worth, replaying moments in your head, wondering why effort wasn't enough, why affection didn't translate into depth. This topic isn't just about romance. It touches something deeper, the need to feel chosen, understood, and irreplaceable. And the truth is, when men fall hard, it's rarely loud at first. It happens silently, internally, long before it shows up in words or actions. Psychology tells us that male attraction isn't built the way it's often portrayed. It's not a straight line from interest to commitment. It's layered, gradual, and deeply tied to how a man experiences himself in someone's presence. Men are often socialized to stay in control of their emotions, to define themselves through competence, independence, and stability. Because of that, they don't always fall in love by chasing a feeling. They fall when a feeling finds them unexpectedly. When they feel understood without being exposed. When they feel strong without having to perform. This is why the topic matters so much. It explains why doing everything right doesn't always create emotional attachment, and why sometimes the connection that changes everything grows quietly, almost accidentally. At a psychological level, men attach through experience rather than intention. They don't usually decide to fall deeply. It happens when repeated moments with a certain woman create an internal sense of emotional safety. Safety doesn't mean comfort alone. It means being able to show parts of themselves they usually keep hidden: doubt, uncertainty, softness, without feeling judged or diminished. With certain women, a man doesn't feel like he has to impress. He feels like he can exist. And that experience is rare enough that when it happens, it leaves a strong emotional imprint. This is where many people misunderstand attraction. They think it's about constant attention, constant availability, or proving value. But psychology shows something subtler at work. Men fall hard when their nervous system relaxes around someone. When conversations don't feel like performances. When silence doesn't feel awkward. When emotional expression doesn't feel like a threat to their identity. These moments create a quiet bond. Over time, the mind begins to associate that woman with emotional regulation, grounding, and inner calm. That association is powerful. It goes deeper than excitement. It reaches stability. Everyday moments are often where this bond forms. A conversation where he feels truly heard instead of corrected. A disagreement that doesn't turn into a power struggle. A shared laugh that doesn't require effort. Even moments of distance that don't feel like punishment. These experiences teach the male psyche something important. With her, I don't lose myself. With her, I don't have to defend who I am. That realization can be transformative. But this is also where inner conflict begins. Because when men feel themselves becoming emotionally attached, it often collides with fear. Attachment means vulnerability. It means the possibility of loss. It means giving someone influence over your inner world. For many men, this creates tension. On one hand, they feel drawn in, emotionally anchored. On the other, they feel the urge to pull back, to regain control, to protect their independence. This contradiction can show up as inconsistency. He may feel deeply, yet hesitate to express it. He may value the connection, yet struggle to name it. This isn't manipulation. It's internal conflict. Psychologically, men are often taught to equate emotional exposure with weakness. So when a woman evokes strong feelings, it can activate old defenses. He might question whether he's moving too fast. He might distance himself temporarily to regain emotional balance. This doesn't mean the bond isn't real. In many cases, it's precisely because it is real that the conflict appears. The stronger the attachment, the louder the internal alarm. This is why certain women stand out. Not because they try harder, but because they don't chase emotional reassurance. They don't push for clarity before it's ready. They remain emotionally present without becoming emotionally demanding. This balance sends a powerful psychological signal. It tells the male subconscious that connection doesn't equal entrapment, that closeness doesn't require self-erasure. Over time, this reduces fear and increases emotional trust. Another overlooked factor is emotional contrast. Men fall hard when a woman represents a different emotional rhythm from their usual environment. If his life is filled with pressure, competition, or expectation, a woman who brings calm without dullness creates contrast. If he's used to emotional unpredictability, someone steady feels grounding. The mind is drawn to what regulates it, and regulation creates attachment. There's also the element of emotional mirroring. When a woman reflects a man's inner state without amplifying or dismissing it, he feels seen. Not fixed, not improved. Seen. This doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It means understanding the emotional logic behind his reactions. Feeling emotionally recognized strengthens bonding pathways in the brain. It creates familiarity and trust. At the same time, men often struggle with the idea of being needed versus being wanted. When a woman's sense of self remains intact, when her life doesn't collapse around his attention, it shifts the dynamic. He isn't responsible for her emotional stability. He's invited into her world rather than expected to complete it. Psychologically, this reduces pressure and increases desire. As attachment deepens, men may experience moments of self-sabotage. Pulling away, creating distance, testing boundaries. This is often misunderstood as lack of interest, but from a psychological perspective, it's often about recalibration. The mind tries to restore equilibrium when emotions intensify. What matters isn't the momentary withdrawal, but whether the emotional bond continues to pull him back internally. This brings us to a shift in perspective that many people need. Attraction isn't something you generate by effort. It's something you evoke by being emotionally aligned with yourself. Certain women don't make men fall hard by doing more. They do it by being more present, more grounded, more self-contained. Their energy communicates emotional stability, and stability is magnetic. This doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean emotional coldness. It means self-trust. A woman who trusts her own emotions without letting them control her interactions creates a safe emotional field. Men sense this on a subconscious level. It allows them to lower their defenses. And when defenses drop, attachment forms naturally. Understanding this also frees the viewer from self-blame. If someone didn't fall deeply, it doesn't mean you weren't enough. It often means the emotional conditions weren't right. Attachment requires timing, readiness, and internal openness on both sides. You can be emotionally intelligent and still meet someone who isn't capable of receiving depth. That doesn't diminish your value. This psychology teaches something important about self-growth. The more emotionally regulated and self-aware you become, the more you attract connections rooted in stability rather than chaos. You stop chasing intensity and start recognizing depth. And depth is where lasting attachment lives. When you stop trying to be chosen and start being aligned, the dynamic changes. You become someone who invites connection rather than seeks validation. Men who are emotionally ready will feel this. Those who aren't may drift away. And that's not loss, it's clarity. In the end, why men fall hard for certain women has less to do with strategy and more to do with emotional resonance. It's about how a man feels when he's with her and how he feels about himself when he leaves. If he feels calmer, clearer, more himself, the bond deepens quietly. Over time, that quiet depth becomes something he can't ignore. The emotional resolution here isn't about control or certainty, it's about grounding. Knowing that attraction rooted in psychological safety is slower, deeper, and more stable. Trusting that you don't need to perform to be unforgettable. And understanding that the right connection doesn't require you to shrink or chase. It meets you where you are, and from there, it grows.